Howdy y'all, got a speculation video for you today on Area 51. So, as we are told in the media, Area 51 is a place where aliens are held by the government and done studies on, and it's all hush hush. Don't let anybody know about it. You don't want to let anything out, otherwise the populace will try to communicate with the extraterrestrials or some sort of or the government needs to have this under control. We need to have complete faith in the government to deal with these aliens that are trying to interfere with our humanly or earthly activity. So all ludicrous sci-fi, but that's what they've ran with in a lot of media that I've seen. My speculation here is that the Area 51 represents a dual fold operation, and these Area 51s could be many places across the world. They don't just have to be in Mountain West, Midwest, or Western United States. Is breeding grounds for these animals such as giraffes that are likely something that was derived from an okapi, maybe even a smaller animal before that. Maybe they use crude tools to lengthen the neck or perform strange surgeries, and it's or inducing certain growths with hormones. Or we've talked about this before. Meriwether references thalidomide and how many porpoises are, in her perspective, and very well could be, originally mammals that were given thalidomide, and it rendered their limbs into fins, and then they became ocean bound. So there's a lot to think about there. The fact that I don't know what to think about submarines. I think that there may be some truth to them. They can go to maybe like a certain depth, but they can't get to the depth of the Mariana Trench. And there's many mysteries of the ocean. I don't necessarily believe that the Mariana Trench is real. That seems about 3 miles deep. It may be. This is something that I have to dig into more. But before getting too off tangent, the other element being, besides the breeding ground of this Area 51 aspect of our reality, is the more interesting, in my opinion, because the breeding ground thing is well covered. They're hiding cryptids, perhaps. Things like unicorns, there's only a handful left. Things like potentially elves. I mean, you can go pretty crazy with it. Dragons, Sasquatch. I don't know about Mothman or the Flatwoods Monster per se, but I do think of things that probably haven't been even closely to transmuted in the media, or yes, perhaps sea beasts that, if you, I mean, think about it this way. Okay, I can't fathom this, but you have free reign of the entire earth. Money does not bind you, and you're a Satanist, so you don't care about capturing and collecting animals. You're doing it for just the sheer f of it, or to mock God and ruin the beauty of creation. So they could easily go into the ocean with all the everything at their disposal, and capture animals and raise them how they want. Or, as I said before, if there are hidden lands, which I believe there are, as many of us do, one being plainly Antarctica, in the sense of we can't go there and it's too cold, and I don't think many of us can really afford to go there. Military supposedly protects Antarctica, but this world seeming clown world as it is, I think they can block it off with money easily enough. And how Antarctica likely is the center of the Earth, and may indeed be an Eden-like place. So if that place exists, and say, look at the fauna of a place like America compared with Australia, compared with Africa, we know that there's fake animals of du jour in all these places, but there's also just clear distinctions in the animals that are real. In America, we have bears. We have black bears and grizzly bears. Those don't exist out in Australia or Africa, as far as I know. So that's a good example. And then lions are in Africa. They're not over here. There supposedly was a North American lion and a long time ago. I'm very skeptical of that. But as we see nowadays, there are lions in Africa. There's giraffes in Africa. Things that aren't everywhere. So isn't it fair to assume that there's unique animals that we've never seen that are native to Antarctica, and maybe some of them are being held in this Area 51 type hideout? These creeps, and they're doing all sorts of testing, and yeah. So I please everybody research this. Do everything you can to figure out more about this. This is such an interesting topic to me, because ultimately, wouldn't we want to? Don't we want to release all these animals and unravel this riddle so that we can find harmony with God? Because that's what God wants. We're kind of in an imprisoned state in many ways, and while we do have some freedoms, this is something that sticks out to me. I mean, we know about the zebras being painted, we know about the fake gorillas and so forth, but the animal abuse that we do see on the daily that's regulated, and then beyond that, the human abuse, not human, I'm not crazy about that word, the abuse on the daily, it's insane. And I, you know, I want to change the paradigm for the better. So, speculation here. Let me know what you guys think. Is Area 51 a place where they actually house cryptids and do satanic breeding that is too, I don't know, maybe like visceral for the public or something? I mean, they hide everything. They hide so many things for us. Underground bunkers, um, faux mountain vases that could open up as hideouts. I think things like this are possible. If you have the resources, you can do this. But we have truth, and that does slice through everything. The pen is mightier than the sword, and I would even contend that the tongue may be mightier than the pen. Something about saying things out loud, praying out loud versus praying in silence. Praying in silence can be powerful, but I find it more powerful to pray out loud. Not in front of people, but talk to God and hear the words echo around the room, or maybe out in the wilderness in a quiet setting. So I pray for you all to help me out on this study and many others, and take it easy, and let's explore. All right, talk to y'all soon.